broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello. Welcome. It is time for Switched at Birth here on AfterBuzz. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. With me, of course, Hannah Prichard. Hey. We're trying to be friends.
With everyone.
Yeah. For anyone who saw my tweet this morning, this episode angered me, and I'm not a violent person, but there were multiple people in this story this week that I wanted to punch in the face.
It's understandable. At least the first moment that you meet every single one of these characters, you want to punch them.
Yeah. All right, let's start with Daphne's drama, because we had been complaining about how everything was coming so easy to her.
I was going to say, we know how I feel about Daphne.
Yeah.
But I actually felt a little bad for her in this episode, which makes me angry in itself, though, that I did feel bad for her.
Right, because we were like, no, everything's been so easy. Like, everything's been coming so easy. And then as soon as something's thrown in her way, we're like, this is ridiculous. Why is this crap thrown in her way?
But I did like it. I felt like what they threw in her way was an important issue as far as, you know, the interpretation in class and everything, and people having issues with her. Like we talked about, a girl sitting next to her.
That girl. Okay, so did you catch her name, the character?
Vilar or Vimar or
I didn't catch her
something
name.
like that.
I didn't catch her name. I'm calling her, I called her, I called someone else B-face. I called someone else B-face in my notes. No, this girl, she's also a B-face. I'm going to call her douchebag because that is what he kept signing at her. So Josh kept signing, you are a douchebag. So her name is douchebag.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. He said, you're a douchebag.
Oh, yeah, he
You're
did.
all douchebags.
Okay, he did do that.
I'm sorry to have said that word like 15 times now.
It's great.
That's her name. All right. So here's the thing. I want to know what world she grew up in, right? Let's assume she's never seen a deaf person in her life. Fine.
Right.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Is that weird? I can believe
No,
that.
I totally can believe that.
I can't believe that she is a college student who turns to a deaf girl and her interpreter and goes, that's really distracting.
And also within like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
She was hating off the get-go because I was...
Yeah, we discussed.
that at first I thought she was maybe like an extra. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was confused about it and I was like, this extra is being very bad.
Like, this is the worst extra we've ever seen on TV. She's, instead of paying attention to what she's supposed to be paying attention to, she's like, ooh, the actors are doing things.
Making all the mean facial expressions too. I was like, dang girl.
Luckily, she wasn't.
No.
She was a role.
Yeah.
Good. Not the worst extra ever. But she... is the rudest person I've ever met. And then when they had their study group and she was like, you know what, we'll do it some other time. It closes her book and then picks up her phone. I was like, she's texting the other two.
See, I didn't even catch her picking up her phone though when she did it.
Oh, it was a very clear, right, we're not going to go and work by ourselves. Like, that's what that was. For those listening on iTunes, I did it with my phone. I was very obvious.
See, I didn't even get it. So when she walked into the room, I was like, jerks, dude.
Douchebags.
I know, I was going to say, I almost used other words. I stopped myself there for a second.
But let's talk about Josh, who he's trying to interpret for Daphne. He's not fast enough. And he's struggling just as she is.
Which is understandable. Those are huge words.
Yeah.
Huge words.
Also, he's not an interpreter. Like, that's what's interesting is that his cousin Isis is there for the interpreter program, and he himself is not an interpreter. And that's something that, as he was saying, you get certification for, you get training for. It is a very difficult job, especially, we talked about it last week, that you need to have these specialty skills. And that's not what he does.
Which I thought was interesting when Daphne was yelling at him, and she was like, you are my interpreter. This is what you do. This is what you do. This is not what you do.
Yeah.
And I actually, in some ways, felt, well, I mean, granted, I actually liked him a lot more in this episode. I did.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. But in that moment, I kind of felt bad for him because I was like, he's actually not really an interpreter, though. Like, he's doing this for you as a favor.
Yeah.
He did overstep the line.
Oh, yes.
But those are not rules that he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is new to him, you telling him all this information.
Agreed. It's interesting that someone who grew up with deaf parents and interpreting for them and meeting and interacting with interpreters all the time, I'm sure he knew what the rules were. I'm sure he knows.
Right.
You know, and it's true. That was one of the things, for those who didn't know, I studied for a little bit to be an interpreter. And that is one of the hardest things to struggle with, is you're in a conversation, but you cannot be part of it.
Yeah, which was so weird for her to be like, you do not have your own thoughts.
No.
You do not, you know what I mean? I was like, that's so weird that he would just have to stand there and basically be a vacant body. You know what I mean?
And
for
that
her.
is exactly
It's
the reason
insane.
that I was like, I can't do this. I could never be in a room in the middle of a conversation and not be like, actually, I have an opinion and a voice because I don't know how to shut
I'm
up.
taking a break from interpreting. Now it's my turn.
Yeah. I don't know how to shut up. I can't do it. But no, she was right. Here are the things that an interpreter does. But he also should have pointed out that, like, she came to him. He's not an interpreter.
And he was hateful from the beginning. He did not want to do it.
He didn't want to do it. He's doing you a favor.
Right. The fact that he kept as cool as he did in that classroom, I mean, was a step for him. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if he lost it in her defense, I'm like, okay, man. I can't be too mad at you. At least you were
Also,
sticking up for her.
He was right with what he said.
was!
That's the other thing. So earlier in the classroom, when he was refusing to interpret specific things because they were irrelevant to her, because he was like, these are her scare tactics. That was wrong. That is not, you don't get to make that choice. But when he was defending her, he was
right in what he was saying.
She could have defended herself, but he was right to be like, you're jerks. And if you want to be doctors...
I know, at that point I was like, and that's when you see all of their faces kind of be like,
oh,
okay.
that's right. We want to be doctors.
Yeah. We're trying to be the good people, and now we're just being jerks.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me think not to predict, but the plot line for Douchebag Girl is going to be that she's going to want to be a doctor specifically for the deaf. Like, that's where it's going to go. Ugh.
But
she angers me so much.
I know, but I seriously think we'll end up liking her. I really, really do.
I don't want to.
I know it. But honestly, everything that's happening in that classroom and that plot line for Daphne being in college and dealing with all of this, I do really, 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 really like, because I never thought about it until this season and her being in college and not being surrounded by like deaf you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That community, it brings in a totally different storyline and situation for all of those characters, you know, and I love that.
Yeah, it's really great that they've decided that the next step for Daphne would be to take her out of her community.
And give her a real challenge.
Yeah,
Rather than these...
yeah, agreed. Everything seems to fall into place. Yeah, I'll add you to my class. Sure. Yeah, I'll ask you questions you happen to know exactly the answer to. But instead, it's like, okay, great. Now deal with the fact that you have never been in this kind of school.
Yeah. Very, I imagine, very realistic, you know, issues. I think it's so important that they're finally...
Aside from that girl being like, excuse me, your signing is distracting. That is, no.
You know what, though? Okay, which that was ridiculous.
Yes.
But I was surprised that Daphne didn't get in trouble for signing while the teacher was... It was clear that the conversation happening between her and Josh was not in class, and she was, like, angry.
Yeah, but the professor wasn't going to call that out. It seems we have a question from the chat roll.
We do.
Yeah.
It's from username Boo69Bs.
I've heard of this person.
Yes. The question is, do you think Daphne and Josh will get together and Daphne will finally not steal someone else's boyfriend?
That is an excellent question, Boo69Bs. Excellent question. I will say this. I said last week that I'm pretty sure as soon as we met Josh, he's the new love interest. Somebody over here thinks he's gay. A lot of the commenters on YouTube were like, yeah, I also saw that.
Which made me feel so good because I was like, I'm not crazy. Okay, thank the Lord, I'm not crazy.
I thought you all were.
Well, afterwards, I was like, maybe I am crazy because you were like, no, I don't see that at all. And I was like, well,
whatever.
Just kidding. But, and I still stand by it.
Yeah.
There were moments that I started to not stand by it in the episode. And then actually, in the end, with the fight, I didn't feel like they created that like sexual kind of tension between them when all that fighting happened to signify that they may be together.
Right.
I actually thought this could be the first time that they give Daphne a guy friend.
I mean,
a real
Emmett used to be her guy friend before he because he was in love with her, but she was like, this is my whatever. Anyway, I think the question that I really like from Boo 69Bs, I also just want to keep saying your name, is that will she finally not steal someone's boyfriend? Excellent question. I don't want her with Josh, but I would like her to not steal someone's boyfriend.
Yes, I don't think she has the option right now. Who could she steal right now?
I don't know. She's going to make friends with this obnoxious douchebag girl, find her boyfriend, then take him.
That's actually probably a true statement. Right? So she will, yes.
All right, before we move off of Daphne, I want to talk about the advance notes situation. Because that's where her story ends, is that she gets advance notes.
I know.
And that's when douchebag girl, who I really wish I would have named B-Face, because she's a B-Face, douchebag girl is like, oh, you get advanced notes? Like, you should join our study
and
group.
holds her binder all sweet.
Yeah,
and is like, you want to join?
And the conversation then happens between Daphne and Josh about, go with it. You need a group. They don't need your notes, but you need them.
Which I liked. I seriously disliked him so much the last episode. I was like, no redeemable qualities. Yeah. But I actually liked him. In that moment, I actually really liked of his. I was like, good for you, man. I mean, I didn't like that she still gave in and did it. You know what I mean? But I liked his mindset in telling her to go with it.
See, I liked the scene where he came in with the notes and was like, you need an interpreter. Like, I'm going to help you. Like, that was nice.
That was really nice.
But
it was way nice.
That doesn't mean I like him. He's still a jerk. He's really he overreacts to things.
Oh, completely. He has a temper like no other.
And I like that he explained how he had to be his parents' ears and voice. And she was like, okay, so you can be my ears, but I have a voice.
Right.
Which tells us about his parents.
Yes.
Anyway, the notes thing really bugged me. She was like, they're taking advantage of my deafness. And he was like, yup, you should do it.
True.
That's what happened.
True. And the thing is I don't think that they will slow down. Like, I know that she was like, yeah, deal, da-da-da. Right. And I'm like, but clearly that was such a difficult thing for you all to sit there and try to slow down or even understand that for 2 seconds that she needed you to, that I don't think it's going to be so quick for everybody to be like, oh, well, we're not going to talk fast or do whatever at any point in time. I think that's still going to be a struggle.
I agree.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, when they were forming the group, the guy who instinctively was like, yeah, join our group, that is going to be the new love interest.
Yes, I saw that too. I thought the same thing. Yeah. Okay, good.
And you know what? He's going to start dating douchebag girl. And then Daphne's going to steal him.
Yep.
Boom. Oh. We solved it.
I think you're right.
All right, let's move on to Bae. Bae and all of her struggles. And the girl that I want to punch in Bae's story. Her name was Tess. You were correct. Yay.
So proud of myself.
Yeah, I'm impressed. So Bae and Emmett are trying to deal with the fact that they're separated. And there's new rules at community service because somebody was doing something inappropriate. Bae.
Poor Bae.
So then Bae and Tess continue to fight. And Tess, I was going to call her Bess. That's when they become friends. They're going to be Bess. Ugh.
And they're going to become best friends, let's be honest. They will.
That girl took her phone. I need to use your phone. I need to call Robbie's lawyer. I'm waiting for a phone call. What's wrong with yours? It's out of minutes. That's your problem.
Well, and then when she broke the phone, I was like, well, now you can't call either. So that was a dumb solution. Nobody.
Also, like, you broke this girl's phone.
Right? And then it just lets her.
Look,
Bay's just letting everybody get away with
here's
everything.
the thing. Bay was right to let the girl get away. It was either punch her or let her get away.
I know.
With it. Because now Bay is on. This girl
It's
owns
true.
her.
It's true. But I think there's going to be like this whole, well, aside from the fact, hold on before I do that other thing.
Speak.
I forgot about though, after that, she stops her from picking up the rat. So she did Tess still kind of came.
They're trying to set it
with
up.
the
They're going to
last.
become BFFs, and I hate
I
it.
know. But I think there's going to be like this whole sob story with Tess. We're going to find out some
don't care what
horrible
her
thing.
sob story is.
And then we're all going to feel bad for her. And then Bay is going to help her and save her and just make everybody understand her. I think that's what's going to happen. And then, Robbie's going to come in. And just, I don't know.
I want the fans to somehow let us know if they agree that Tess should be punched in the face. That's what Tess deserves.
She probably should.
By Bay, specifically.
Probably. Or just tripped. I'm okay with just a trip.
No! I got
No.
so angry both times I watched this episode when she steps on the phone and she's like, there. I yelled at my TV and was like, hit her!
I couldn't even yell. I was like, you're an idiot, because now you can't use the phone either.
She's so frustrating. She's like, even when she was trying to be her friend, she wasn't cool. And the thing about Tess is, like, girl, I don't want to be your friend. We're in community service for, like, crimes. We committed crimes. You drove drunk and thought it was totally, like, whatever, it's fine. I allegedly did whatever I did. Like, we don't need to be friends. You're a criminal.
Nope. And I still stand by that nobody should be letting them talk anyways while they do this community service. But it's fine. A bunch of things are happening that I got to move away from it now and just get over it. But
Yeah.
oh, shoot. And now I forget. Never mind. I had a thing that I was going to say and I lost it.
Is it about punching Tess in the face? Somebody's
wasn't.
going to get mad at me about condoning violence, and I really don't. It's just this episode was full of terrible people. Speaking of, wait, the chat roll wants to...
They all want to punch Tess. Every
Beautiful.
single person that's been
Thank
on the chat
you.
roll has said, like, our Boo69B said, I think Jerk is Daphne's type. Remember her last boyfriend. Also, she wants to punch
True.
Tess in the face when she broke Bay's phone.
Yeah.
BDHGPP288, exactly. Like Tess, that's your problem. Why are you complaining, Bay?
Right?
Nobody wants
Thank
to just
you,
trip her.
guys. No, punch her in
Nobody.
the face. All right. There's the other thing that happened during Bay's situation today. Tank shows up, and I was like, what? Why is he there?
Who knows? But I was okay with it. It was kind of nice to see him.
I forgot that he's Toby's roommate.
I did too until you said that. I
Yeah.
didn't even remember that. I was like, oh yeah,
That's why he's still in town.
he's still going to be in the picture. I kind of forgot that he'd be in the picture at all.
Last season, Melina, our other co-host, was all about Tank staying around. She's like, he's going to
Really?
stay around. Yeah, and I was like, I think his story's over. And I think that today, his introduction was hey guys, remember Tank? He's around. And especially, not to get too prediction-y, but like with what's happening,
No,
what
don't
it looks
say
like
it.
is happening next
Stop.
episode.
Don't. I know. But here's the thing. I like Tank. I like his character. I do not like him and Bay together. I just didn't. I didn't like it. I didn't like the energy between them. I just didn't like it. No.
I'm pretty sure if I remember what I said last season, and I really don't, so I could be making this up now. I didn't like that she would change him, and he was doing it because he would be like, oh, you're right, I should change. And then at the end was like, I changed for you.
Yeah, it was all silly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like.
But maybe
Their dynamic.
he's grown. I'm excited to see.
Stop.
I'm excited to see where it goes. Guys, I want you all to tweet at Max Adler and tell him that he should join us on the show and tell us what he thinks about Tank and Bay.
Yeah, that'd be
Bank.
Bank. Well, they do have a good name
They
though.
do great, better than Bess.
True.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I think Bess is going to be a great thing for the show. I think
Bess.
I'll like Tess.
I think if no one punches Tess, then the show is going downhill.
Stop it. She just needs a good tripping, and then we just need to hear her sob story, and then we're all going to love her.
No, I don't care about her sob story. Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. I
Go.
remember what I was going to say before. Because does anybody know what Tess's shirt said? Because when I was reading through that little jump thing, did not look like a good word, and I was like, ABC Family.
What did you
does
think it said? What letters did you see?
ITC.
Oh, okay. So
That's what I saw.
it may have
There-
said witch.
I doubt it. I was like, whoa, okay. What's Tess wearing under that?
Well, all right. Before we get into the person that I nicknamed B-Face, guys, I want to thank you all so much for listening and for being in the chat roll. Thank you, guys. That's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We love hearing your comments. Clearly, you all agree with me, which is something I really love. It's rare. So thanks. We clearly love this show so much. We're so invested, and I yelled at my TV multiple times. So, you know, this is what we like to do, is talk to you guys about the show. And what we want you guys to do for us is very simple. To go onto iTunes, rate and review us. If you like us, give us 5 stars. If you don't like us, I don't know how you've made it 20 minutes in, but that's cool. Give us 4 stars and leave a comment. Let us know what we can be doing better, what we're doing well, who you want to punch in the face. If it's me, I will laugh. I really will. That's what we want from you. Also, I'm going to keep telling you to tweet at the stars all episode. So tweet at them. Tell them to come join us and talk about who they want to punch in the face.
Yes.
This one. All right. Let's talk about Regina. Regina's in East Riverside. Regina, who is known as La Meliche.
I know. That cracked me up. When she first said that, I was like, wait, what's that mean? What's that mean? What's that mean? I was so glad they went back and said it. I was like, oh, what is that?
I think my favorite part is when she said it and she was like, oh, it means this.
Yep.
And he was like, oh. And she's like, yep. Like, I'll take it.
Which I liked him, but I couldn't wait to hear what you thought because I know how you felt about Antonio and all of that. And I was like,
Antonio.
yeah.
Who's Antonio? Angelo?
Angelo!
I was like, who's Antonio?
Okay, well, erase that. I never said that.
Well, I love Angelo. What do you mean?
I know, but I think this guy's going to be a new...
Oh, okay, yeah. No, so let's talk about Eric Bishop. Handsome Eric Bishop.
Man.
Who owns the Cracked Mug and understands that people really do love... I didn't even like... Right?
I loved that so much. I was like, why is nobody else doing that?
Yeah.
Somebody needs to make that, like, right around the corner from my house.
Yeah, like, which kind of mug do you... So what kind of mug do you like?
I want the big one.
Yeah, I also like the
Right?
big ones that you put your hands around.
Yep, and like for it to cover your face when you lift it up to your mouth. That's what I want really bad.
Swear really dirty in my head. Sorry. I just
Inappropriate.
I just died. I'm sorry, guys. So he has the coffee shop, and and she hits his motorcycle. All right, so let's talk about bitch face. That's the girl, the woman, Juanita, who's like, I'm gonna sell you my brownies.
I was hoping that that's the one you thought.
Oh yeah, that is bitch face. That is her name.
She's the one I hated the most.
She should be punched in the face.
Yeah, she was awful.
She
so
was
mean.
Absolutely the rudest person.
With her stupid cookies and her Tupperware container.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, just go home.
Like, Regina, you ruined my life, therefore I'm selling my brownies to this coffee shop that hasn't even opened yet.
Right?
Blah, blah, blah. I'm a bitch face, punch me. That's her. Yeah, that was her. She was so obnoxious. And the fact that Regina didn't click in her mind until after talking to John that she should offer her services to this company.
Yeah,
like,
right?
Girl, you're in a up-and-coming coffee shop. They're building it.
There were boxes everywhere.
Yeah.
It was empty. It wasn't looking so great. Aside from that awesome coffee maker that was behind him. I
And
was
there
like,
were
okay,
beautiful
that thing's
brick
awesome.
walls. He has this like vision. How have you not been like, I'm an interior designer? This is why your company's going down the toilet. That was me censoring myself.
Beautiful.
Right? Like,
It's true. But
how
at least
did-
she went back and said it. She was
Eventually.
sidetracked. Okay, she was sidetracked by the damage that she had caused and having to write down her license plate, and then crazy woman,
bitch face.
bitch face.
Yes.
Listen.
Juanita, punch her in the face.
Juanita.
Juanita with her brownies.
How do you say that word that she said?
La Meliche.
La Mali. I can't do it.
La Meliche.
I have zero talent.
Whatever, that's my new nickname. It's not. Yeah, I like this guy a lot.
I do
really
too.
do. I think
It's
they're
'cause
gonna be
he's handsome.
He's so handsome. Also, Regina she keeps getting involved with employers.
I know she does, and that's the
Which-
thing is because I like his character, but I'm like, okay, you guys, can we? She just keeps getting involved with these men.
Yeah.
And I mean, shouldn't she still kind of be? I mean, not mourning, you know what I mean, but be going through it a little bit to
I
where
mean, I'm
she's
sure
not.
she is.
Yeah.
I think it'll be like Wes, where it eventually happens.
Yeah.
That said, it reminds me of how Daphne got involved with her boss when she was a chef.
True.
Chef Jeff. the hottest guy they've ever had on the show.
I know, right? They should have kept that one around. I didn't understand why they ended that.
He got punched in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Finally.
Somebody did.
Yeah.
Well, that at least lets you know that it's possible. So maybe.
They've yet to hit a woman on the show. Yeah.
Well, that's a topic they can go into.
Yes. I like it. Yeah, that was Regina's story. It was interesting that she can't come to the entire town of East Riverside.
Right? I did not understand that. I'm like, everybody needs to cool their jets just a little bit about this stuff. I have a question.
Is East Riverside a full-on town, or is it a neighborhood?
I thought it was just a neighborhood.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know, because
just like an area.
Yeah, but there are towns named.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, I imagine it's bigger than just like a block, you know what I mean? But I don't think it's like a whole thing.
Yeah. It surprises me that there aren't places in town she can go, especially a cafe that isn't even open.
Right. I was actually surprised, though, that he was willing to work with her after he was explaining to her how he's new to the area.
And then she's like, but I'm not new to the area. That's why I'm helpful. Yeah, but you're hated in the area.
Extremely hated.
Yeah. You are la meliche.
Unless woman with the brownies ends up selling his brownies to him, and then they have to hang out together. And then
they're going to become best friends.
Oh. No, that would be awful. That one I'm not okay with. Best I'm okay with.
That one you're not. You're weird. You're picking and choosing, just like Josh was in class. Like, she's just trying to scare you. All right, I want to talk about John and Catherine. I do love me.
I tried so hard watching it this time to be like, okay, I kind of get it.
All right, so everyone knows that I'm a huge D.W. Moffat fan. I love him. He's wonderful. But John as a character I personally find him to be one of the worst parents on television.
Oh, he is. Absolutely.
In that every time something happens, his first instinct is to overreact and that's it, you're grounded. First instinct.
Even though it cracked me up at the very beginning of the episode when Bae comes down and he's like, oh, our little worker, whatever he calls her. I'm like, I don't understand how you think this is so okay and cute and endearing, like our little Bae going out with her ankle bracelet on to go put on that orange vest.
To do community service with criminals.
For her sister. I was John Kennish.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. What's interesting is that they haven't, after last week's situation where we found out that there were convicted felons working with them, that were supposed to be in jail or prison working with them, that they didn't then, it just feels like something John would do is sue. Yeah, sue and be like, you can't put my girl with that.
True statement. I don't know how that didn't happen.
He would totally overreact like that.
And they're fine with it. Even with the pass off of the lunch, it's like, oh yeah, Bae can't take her lunch anymore to school because drugs are being passed.
Because Bae held heroin.
No big deal. Go back out there, sweetie. Go get him.
Yeah. You, Bae, who didn't commit a single crime recently, because she did used to do graffiti,
which I was fine with. Yeah. I'm like, oh, come on now.
That one's a victimless crime.
Yes.
Anyway, the innocent child, they're like, yeah, whatevs. Have fun. Oh, you can't have lunch? They'll feed you. Great, I'm sure it's nutritious.
And they just pass it on to Regina.
Regina, you're going to East Riverside.
I didn't understand. It was a funny intro to me. I was like, really?
Yeah. Are we going to start every episode with her going to work?
Clearly.
All right. So let's talk about what's going on with Catherine. They want to make her book into a movie. What? So some producer from LA is in town, blah, blah, blah. He's super into it. And as soon as he leaves, okay, so I did not get what he wanted.
I didn't either. I was confused too. And then when John said it, I was like, did I miss something?
Yeah, yes, he was very skeezy. He did feel uncomfortable. But as soon as Catherine leaves and he's like, so John, let me ask you something. I was like, what's
happening?
The question?
Yeah. Okay, good. I felt the exact same way.
What did he want? And then we found out it's money and I was like, oh, why did he? They're not separated.
I know.
Why didn't he ask both of them?
Well, and that was made such a big deal, I felt like, when John told her that he wanted money, but I didn't understand why that was a big deal, because I feel like if that's a film, if it's her script, or if it would be her script, a film that they're very invested in and want to do, why would it be a big deal for them to invest money that they do have into that project?
So I think the argument is that he came to them and said, I want to make your story into a movie.
Not
I
asking for
have
money.
people, I mean, John asked how much is it going to cost? Or where is the money for the writer's assistant going to be from? And he's like, no, we have it funded. Fully funded.
Which
and
was the
then he asked
skeezy part.
Like, it's just odd that you would make such a giant lie.
I know.
And then straight up, as soon as she leaves the room, be like, actually, I completely blatantly lied to you. Give me money.
Right, which I feel like all that could have been just skipped. I'm like, you didn't have to come at it in a skeezy way, sir. You know what I mean? It could have been a deal where you talked to them before even meeting and just been like, listen, I'm interested. I can't fully fund it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Let's collaborate.
I mean, Catherine said that he was the only one who was interested in making her book into a movie.
I guess that's true.
And so he needed to sell her on it.
Unless, like, well, which obviously that's not going to be a storyline to go down. So just, I don't even, but I'm like, unless he is just a skeezy person and trying to swindle money out of them regardless of the film. But that's already,
right. Yeah.
But it's already said and done, so we'll never know if that was the case.
Because instead, she's hanging out with her BFF and realizes we could make it a Broadway musical.
Which I love Lorenzo. That is his name, right? I love him so much.
Renzo.
He makes me so happy when he's on the show.
You know, I hated him at first.
Really?
I found him a little bit disruptive.
Well, I felt like they cast him in that light when he was first introduced.
They wanted
on the show.
him to be this like disruptive force,
right?
And now he's like, I have great ideas,
and he's just fun now.
Yeah,
now he's so much fun.
So fun. I don't know how I feel about her show being a musical.
I don't either, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm fine with it, because I kind of imagine the whole Smash, whatever that show was, and the whole Marilyn Monroe thing, and all the baseball players. I'm like, okay, that actually could be a fun kind of thing. I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it.
I see it only working as like a spoof or a joke, because I feel like I don't think that's what her novel was supposed to be.
No, I mean, her novel was like kind of dirty, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I thought it was.
But when she's meeting with the producer, she says, like, it's about a woman losing her innocence. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like a fun Broadway musical.
No, that doesn't.
Because the way they were talking about it with the shirtless ball players, which I definitely pictured. Don't worry, we're all on the same page. When they started talking about that, I was like, oh, so this is going to be like a fun, cheesy, campy musical.
Right.
Which would be great.
It'd be awesome.
But, like, I wouldn't want to see this, like, depressing woman losing her innocence story. That does not sound like a fun. I don't see both those things working together.
No, but then it'd be like some small Broadway
Yeah, that's like
production,
an
and
off
everybody's
Broadway.
getting like naked on stage, and it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's like that.
Maybe it would work. I don't know.
Yeah.
Catherine ends up being in it. Once we heard her pipes as she was singing in the parking lot.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're gonna. I mean, she just did
somehow she'd cast herself.
Here's the thing. I feel like that's where it's gonna end up going.
Oh, probably.
Because let's point out that over the Christmas special and this episode now we've had like, by the way, guys, Catherine can sing.
I know, and her doing all that dancing, I'm like, oh, they're setting it up.
I mean, she also was just on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, well, here we go.
Yeah, so I think people should start betting if they agree that she's going to be cast in her own show.
She is.
That's for sure. I mean, she also is beautiful.
Oh, she totally is.
That would be amazing.
She's probably a great dancer and probably a great singer.
I'm now picturing that scene from Smash where they're holding. And
right?
Yeah,
see? And now you're like, okay, it's going to work.
Yeah, now I see it. All right. Before we get into predictions, I want to remind our fans that we are always looking to have guests with us. And I know that a lot of you, every time I talk about how much I love John, like to tweet at him, and I so appreciate it. So feel free to tweet at who you guys want to see on the show with us. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Emmett fans,
please,
yeah,
please hit up Emmett.
Yeah, we will also talk to them and their publicists, but I think it would be encouraging if you guys do it as well. All right, let's that one too. Melody, awesome. Eric Bishop,
Just bring them all.
We wouldn't mind Eric Bishop again. I'll say it. All right, let's head into predictions.
Okay. There's so
And
many.
now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
In the trailer, the most heartbreaking trailer, it seems that there is trouble in Bemet Land.
I'm not
And
happy.
there's another girl.
Which makes me even more mad because, I mean, I kept thinking in my mind that we were going to keep it on Bay's side.
Right, I thought we weren't going to see Emmett for a while.
I did too, which upset me as is. But now we're going to see him and it's going to be him with another girl. Like that. Come on now.
Yeah. Can we just remind the fans that he has cheated on Bay before?
I know, but okay, listen, I selective memory over here.
Everyone's selective memory. That's why I'm reminding us. There's a new girl. Oh, the chat roll has some predictions. Let's hear them.
Oh, we actually have a name for Boo 69Bs now.
What?
Her name is Allie. A-L-Y. Her name is Allie.
Allie, I like calling you Boo 69Bs. I'm going to be honest.
So she doesn't think that they're gonna break up. And actually, a lot of people are on the same boat. They think they don't think Bay and Emmett will break up. I think that they're just creating unnecessary drama for them.
That sounds right.
And a lot of people do not care for Tank. And I'm not sure why he's even on the show.
Oh, bold.
Yeah. Boo 69Bs is smacking it down. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to disagree with you. I think that because they reminded us about Tank,
Stop.
I'm going to say it. I think that Emmett's going to cheat, or the girl's going to kiss him and he's going to get all flustered and angry and then tell Bay about it. She's going to take it as a betrayal.
No.
And she's going to hook up with Tank.
No. I'm disagreeing. I'm disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
Okay, because I agree with everyone.
Yeah.
That it has to be unnecessary drama. Because if it's not unnecessary drama and he actually goes through with it and he cheats on her, it's for the second time that he has done this, and then it can't be forgiven.
Yeah.
And it can't be forgiven. And everybody knows Bay and Emmett are meant to be together. They're the only couple on the show that they are meant to be together.
John and Catherine?
Stop it. John and Catherine, I can do without. Over. I'm done. Bay and Emmett, no.
How dare you?
Bay and Emmett, I can't let it happen. And if he cheats twice, then it's done. And I'm like, then where are we going with the show? Then where are we going with it? Because they have to be together. So
Okay.
So Tank better just find somebody else.
I'm sure the chat roll is now full of people being like, yeah.
There's one more.
Oh.
They said, I'm trying to find it here.
Was it punch Yael in the face?
No. There's a lot of
I
them still
deserve
agreeing
that.
with that. But anyway.
Wait, did you say you're agreeing with that?
No. I'm not agreeing with that. I'm keeping my opinions to myself on this one. But BDHGPP288.
Yeah, all the letters.
Yes, that one. This person doesn't see anything happening between Regina and the new guy. She needs a nice man in her life.
What? Eric is a nice guy.
Yeah.
I like the new
He's
guy.
a real nice guy.
He's also he clearly explained to her, like, listen, I don't know all the details, which I think was a really bold statement to say. He wasn't just taking sides. And he's like, I'm new here and I'm struggling. I can't have you in my coffee shop. And then, of course, he easily flip-flopped, but whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
He was very eloquent and clear with his statement.
Whatever keeps him on the show, I don't really care
You don't care what I'm
is.
saying. I'll also say this. I hated Wes last season, Wes, her boss, because he
hated him.
He had the same situation that John has, where everything is an overreaction.
Right, and I thought he was attractive too.
Yeah,
but he
also
carried that
kept-
demeanor. So
He kept so John, anytime one of the girls does something, oh, you're grounded, and then Wes, anytime Regina does, you're fired.
I am
every
a god.
time.
Like he was everywhere.
Yeah.
That was whoo.
So I stand by my statement that I think Regina and Eric, just because he's handsome and I would like to see him shirtless. I think that
It's just gonna happen.
yeah, I think it's gonna happen. I think they're still either going to put Daphne with Josh eventually, which could cause drama because Josh is her roommate's cousin.
I don't
You
know.
think he's gay?
I really do.
I also think there's going to be drama with Daphne and Douchebag Girl. I think that the other guy that we saw, I still think that he's going to play a part of it.
I agree with that. I think that's a good one.
I can't stand the idea of Daphne and Douchebag Girl becoming friends. because it reminds me of Natalie and Bay, and
it does.
Like that doesn't make any sense.
But I think there's going to be some serious drama with Tess's like family life and personal life.
Who cares?
I think that's what's going to happen though, and I think, but then it's going to create some. I fear that if that is the case, then it's going to cause some far-fetched drama for the show.
I feel like Bay always tries to help people out. She's got like a good heart, and she's always like, "Let me help you." And Tess is not. I'm about to sound so terrible. Tess is not worth it. Like, I'm not invested in this character enough to care about. Go.
Another bad thing that I think could happen if they do become friends and it not be the Bay saving. But now that Emmett is gone and she's like stressed, what if Tess like is a bad influence? She goes and she gets a DUI. And all of a sudden it's Bay in her shoes.
No. Bay has already had a bad influence friend, and they tried to drive to Mexico.
Oh, yeah, I forget these things.
Yeah. So we don't need another bad influence friends. I don't need Tess in her life, and Bay does not need to be making friends at community service.
You're so passionate about Tess.
I don't. She should be punched in the face for what she did to the phone. All right. I think we've gotten heated enough.
We have.
Yeah. All right. Hannah, why don't you tell the people where they can find you online?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at TheHotShotDude.
That's it?
Yeah.
On both?
Yep.
Okay. Just clarifying. You can find me online at yael.tv. That's YAL.tv. There you'll find all the different shows that I do here, including The Librarians, SVU, this show, Graham Constantine. Wow, I do a lot of shows here. Also, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google+. Make sure you're following me on Twitter and that you're tweeting at the cast at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. Also, definitely tweet at DW. Let him know how much I love him. He knows. We'll see you next week, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.